to the Dap It Up podcast, the neutral ground for geeks of all creeds. I'm Dray the
This is Gunnm.
I'm TheBeneficentBeet.
And we are going to get the hang of this. We got some input on the last one. I compiled a few comments. Anna says, I'd choose to marry wealthy or keep working forever and not get totally stomped by any of them. But I am absolutely a coward. That is the cowardly choice.
I mean, that was my default response too, but
that changes nothing. Abram says, Gengar for certain. Don't know who Adam Smasher is. Frieza is sadistic. But Gengar will probably just paralyze lick me or something. As long as I can see it coming, I can brace for pain. Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking for sure, yeah.
Isn't Gengar a ghost Pokemon? Like, how do you know that you would see him? Like, he could be incorporeal.
There's a lot of variables here. I mean, I just don't like the idea.
So, hold on. Did he even mention anything about the poison?
No, but you know what? You can't be paralyzed and poisoned at the same time.
In Pokemon, sure.
So, I guess we go by Pokemon rules. Good input. Heather says, I'd say Gengar, because even though he'd whoop my ass, I wouldn't be as scared. Adam Smasher is scary looking, and I don't like Frieza's hand feet. And I think that sounds reasonable.
Frieza's hand feet are truly the most terrifying characteristic of Frieza.
That and the lipstick lips.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? How's life? What you playing? What you watching?
Well, life's been good. As far as what I'm playing, I'm still playing through Crisis Core. Still haven't finished it yet. I'm getting there, though. So, at a good point in the game, I just met Cloud. So, it's getting really interesting seeing him early on, like, younger, like, in his younger years, like, just
How do you
starting
feel
out.
about Final Fantasy VII spoilers in this room?
I'm good with
I
them.
mean, we are, but
Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything that's, like, a spoiler.
Okay. I felt like you were getting close.
No. No. But, like, yes, you meet Cloud in Crisis Core. But, beyond that, like, it's still fun. Very fun. Very grindy, but it's a fun game.
On a scale of 1 to Korean MMO, how grindy is it? I'm just curious.
I mean, not as grindy as any kind of MMO.
Okay,
but
fair
it can be grindy. It's a very mission-based game, so it's like that's basically how you get your experience. It's just through missions. Not even really like through the chapters and the story. Really, you get it through missions.
See, I'm not sure I would like that.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't think it's a game for everyone. I don't think everyone will enjoy it, but it's still very fun.
Okay.
It's still very fun.
Nice. How about you, Beet?
Man, I'm such an eclectic gamer. I can't play just one game at a time. So I'm playing. I have a rotation. I'm playing League of Legends. The season just came out yesterday. I think I lost every placement match that I did. Either somebody fed into the other team, they were just trying to see how quickly they could shove themselves into, top lane's mouth and marinate in there. I don't know. It was just bad. I've just had a rough time of it. I've also been playing, and I know this might be a little to your chagrin because you're a huge XCOM fan, but you don't seem very interested in it. I've been playing Marvel's Midnight Sun. The card-based tactical game where you get to platonically date all your favorite Marvel heroes. And, I mean, the writing could be stronger, but it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying myself.
I didn't know you could date characters in that game.
Platonically. You and Blade might go look at the stars and talk about friendship.
Friend zone.
Yeah, you're friend zone permanently with all of your favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, we'll come back around to that one. Well, I just launched my fitness channel. It's just called Dray the Spectre. So I've kind of been neck deep in all of that. I just beat God of War this past week. God of War Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. definitely my game of the year in retrospect. Elden
Really?
Ring is fantastic, but God of War just resonated with me more. I don't know if that's the result of being, or soon to be, a father, or if it's just, I think I just appreciate the relationships between all these characters, especially with how Kratos has developed, not just as a hero, but as a person. I don't know if I'd like it as much if I didn't have that deep connection to the characters. The gameplay is sweet, but I don't know. There's a lot of good games out there, There's
I got a bit of a
Yeah.
hot take, right?
Uh-huh.
I do like God of War Ragnarok. I feel like it meaningfully built on the previous game systems, but it does
Right.
feel incredibly safe as far as combat goes. Not only that, I feel like you don't at no point in this game do you feel super strong. Like, I don't really feel like a god, when I'm going into rage mode and I'm punching something like 3,000 times and doing like no
What
damage.
difficulty are you on?
I mean, I was playing like probably on normal. Like, you would think I would do
On
significant.
normal?
Yeah, I was playing pretty much on normal. I'm
Oh,
pretty
you
sure.
probably suck then.
No, it's not that.
You said you didn't
No,
feel like
I-
a god.
No, I mean, like, when I think about, like, God of War 3, like, the old one, the old games, like, you really felt like you were doing something most of the time. But I feel
I'd
like his
say-
power is inconsistent.
Well, I don't think his power is inconsistent within Ragnarok. I just think if you make the comparison, the earlier games were more arcadey, and I do agree. You felt more like in control of the situation, but these are more thoughtfully developed encounter-wise. And I mean, I guess that's for better or worse. It depends on what you're looking for. But going straight from 3 to 4, yeah, definitely there's this dissonance, because in 3 it's like I just killed 20 enemies back to back and didn't break a sweat. And 4 it's like, Kratos, off your back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I get
sure.
that. I do get that. And to that point, yeah. I mean, it's not, very few games are what I would consider perfect. But like I said, that personal connection to the story and the characters, it really sat with me,
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, what we got out this week, as far as games, January 13th, it's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Bardock, Alone Against Fate.
DLC.
The new
Oh.
DLC for Kakarot.
Mm.
Have either of you guys played Kakarot?
I have
No.
not played Kakarot and I haven't
So-
touched it.
I really enjoyed it the first time I played it. I do have the season pass. I don't know if this DLC is included, but I played the one where you trained with Beerus, and I think it was a really interesting and fun way of, like, being able to level up Goku and go through all the arcs and, kind of work through the progression. The cinematics are decent, but it was a fun game. I had a lot of good time with it.
Yeah, I have a vague interest in it.
Yeah,
love
I
Dragon
had thought
Ball.
about getting it, but just talking to people that have played it just kind of...
Well,
Kept
let's
me
think about it.
convinced
You've
of
been
it.
through the story of Dragon Ball. You've done it a
Yeah.
million times. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
nothing new.
Sounds like we want to talk about Dragon Ball. Let me get through the rest of this first. We'll come back to it. One Piece Odyssey is on the same day.
One Piece Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not fried chicken. That's a game, apparently. January 18th. A Space for the Unbound. January 19th.
Not familiar with that one.
No clue.
Colossal Cave is on the same day.
Colossal Cave.
Yeah, I have no idea what that
No?
is. No, Chief. I got no clue. These are not on my radar.
Okay, same day. Persona 3 Portable. Persona 4 Golden. Those are big ones. I've discussed these games ad nauseum with you two. The next day, January 20th, Fire Emblem Engage. Funny, here it says, January 20th, Fire Emblem Engage Wave 1 DLC.
Jesus Christ.
Is that so? The game's releasing with DLC on the same day.
Jesus.
So,
So Nintendo's monetization skills are just second to none. Come on, let's go.
last on the list, we have Monster Hunter Rise for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, January 20th.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, really? So that's releasing on everything now.
Yeah, I mean, what can't you play Rise on? I've not touched it.
Isn't that a... It doesn't seem like a very... Like, it's like, for the Switch, it's one of the best looking games on the Switch from what I've seen. It's a very good looking game.
It's like being the prettiest ugly girl.
But yeah, that RE engine really goes to work. But, I mean, I'm not really interested in trying it. Else I would have gotten it already on the Switch, but...
Did you try World? Did you play World by chance?
No, I'm just not a Monster Hunter guy.
You talk about grindy and missions, man. That's where that stuff starts. Is Monster Hunter is one of the grindiest games I've ever played in my life.
I have seen my friends play it, and I'm like, not for me.
I've tried it multiple times.
You gotta be a certain kind of person to enjoy those games. It's just not me.
Definitely.
Okay, let's jump into the news. Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, got us an Xbox Showcase on the 25th.
Specifically, a developer direct.
So that'll be interesting to see what they got cooking for this year. Like, everybody's been anticipating it, and it leaked out early. So I'm sure they probably intended to post about it probably a few days prior. Kind of like how Nintendo does, but...
We know Elder Scrolls Online is going to be there, as well as Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. Starfield, I don't believe is going to be there. They're planning a separate showcase for that.
Which makes sense. I'm sure there's a lot they could show, like, separately from these other games. So they could probably, for sure, pump out about 30 to 40 minutes worth of content just on Starfield alone. So
Only 30 or 40 minutes, man? I feel like they could run a 3-hour Avatar marathon for
I don't think
Starfield
they're
and
gonna
people
do
would be
that.
hyped for it. Maybe they wouldn't do that, but I think they could.
yeah, easily.
Yeah, Xbox is definitely making up for lost ground after what happened, or I should say didn't happen, at the Game Awards.
So last year for sure as well. Its releases.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. It'll be good to see. So, topic of the week. The fittest fictional characters. Among the many gifts the new year brings, we got the Resolutioners. Resolutioners means overcrowded gyms, which is more work for me, so I'm not complaining. Everyone needs a little motivational boost every now and then. So I figured we'd find that in the things we love, namely games, TV, movies. So based on feats of strength, that can be strength endurance, agile strength, maximal strength, relative strength, yada yada yada. Who gets your vote for today's physical phenom? Go ahead, Gunnm.
As far as like fictional characters,
Yeah.
I'm going to say Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star.
Elaborate.
He was always, if you ever seen the show, that dude.
That
If you cross him up, he is gonna kill you. You mess with his friends, he's going to kill you. Mess with his woman, he's going to kill you.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're already dead.
Exactly.
that makes him fit.
And he is just peak physique. As far as like being fit.
So he's got those aesthetics down pack, is what you're saying.
He inspired the JoJo's physique. So he is peak,
He's big.
in my opinion.
Okay. So your vote is
For Kenshiro.
all right. primarily for aesthetics.
Pretty much.
Hey, I mean, hey, you know, it's not a bad idea, not a bad stance to take. What about you?
See, when I think of fitness, right,
Mm-hmm.
you've got multiple components. You got physical fitness, you've got mental fitness, and when I think of who combines both of
Mental
those
fitness
aspects,
doesn't count.
I think
Trying to cheat.
I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
asking for extra points. This
Yeah.
man is absolutely jacked, and I'm going with ya boy Jotaro Kujo,
Okay.
the tiriest man in all of JoJo's. Now I don't know what it is about Araki's need to change his art style and the way he designs his characters every season, but season 3 Jotaro Kujo looks like he was built and constructed out of marble and tires. Somebody made a statue and put tires to make the arms bigger.
Yeah.
This guy has strength. He's got stamina. He's fighting Dio. He's so quick that he can stop time. He can punch you 30 times in 1 second. And you are just rocked. You don't even know what's happened until you feel the impact.
One of the greatest measures of fitness is one's ability to control time.
Of course. See, when you start working out, you start really getting on your grind set. You start being able to stop time.
Yeah, everything slows around you.
It does. It just slows right down. You're so fast. I mean, come on.
Okay, so
the agility.
Kenshiro for aesthetics.
Jotaro Kujo for a lot of things.
I was just like to
things.
point out.
We gotta quantify it, man. We gotta quantify.
I would just like to point out there'd be no Jotaro without Kenshiro. I'm just saying.
I feel like there would be no. What is the name of the first one? Do you remember? Jonathan. I feel like there'd be no Jonathan without Kenshiro. I feel like Jotaro might have still existed. Because when you look at season 1 of JoJo's, it's basically he is Kenshiro. That's how they designed him.
Well, my vote is for Kratos.
Kratos.
Father of the Year. Kratos.
Dad of War.
Dad of War. Now, it's funny you mentioned the strength and consistency earlier. Because narratively, that is one of my biggest gripes with God of War. It's like he'll go from struggling to fight a bear 1 second to lifting a mountain the next second to punching a titan in the face or getting thrown around by someone half his size. You know, it's fiction. But if we are to take his greatest feats in mind, this dude displays peak endurance, stamina, agility, relative strength. I mean, this man is compared to even the gods around him, he's powerful. He ripped Helios's head off his shoulders, which, I mean, it sounds mid compared to some of the other things he's accomplished. But have you ever tried to rip anyone's head off their shoulders?
Honestly, on this recording, no, not at all.
I hope not.
Man,
I hope not.
sinew, those tendons, bro, Kratos, even in his age, which is, I mean, to be determined. The way he sprints across the field to the next bad guy without skipping a beat, the way he jumps into action when Atreus is in trouble, Atreus, boy, just starts swinging, piecing people up. I mean, for I don't know how old he is. I don't know if age matters for gods, but
I imagine not.
Dad got some hands.
He do.
He got some
them
hands, man. But I mean, I Kratos definitely stands out to me just because of the visceral nature of these feats. It's when you think power, this game is synonymous with that. I sound like we got a sponsorship from God of War.
God of War.
But
by God of War Ragnarok.
By God of War Ragnarok. No, but what other games can you think of, or say even anime, right? In your votes, have you considered that that raw emotion, that raw feeling of the impact of whatever these characters are doing.
Oh yeah, totally. Like Sora from Kingdom Hearts, dude. You seen how far that man can jump? That guy can attack you from 50 feet away easily. He can just cross that distance like it's nothing, man. Sora's got a lot of power feats, I'm telling you.
Just glides through the sky like
He can fly. He's so strong. He can just propel himself through the air with his own strength.
You know, I feel like Kingdom Hearts is just a fever dream.
I'm pretty sure it's Tetsuya Nomura's fever dream.
Makes sense. It's a Disney game.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's Tetsuya Nomura's love letter to Disney. And now that he's moved on to 4 and we're out of the mainline universe, it's a love letter to Final Fantasy Versus 13.
So if Kratos and these JoJo guys got into a battle royale, who would emerge victorious?
Oh, absolutely Kratos, no question. Just, if you're talking a god, even versus somebody as strong as Jotaro, he's probably gonna win.
Kenshiro will probably lose.
Probably lose, you said?
Kenshiro will probably be the first one to
Oh, why?
He doesn't have any hacks. Like at least Jotaro has time skip.
He just throws hands.
I have to admit, never watched JoJo. Never watched I've watched clips just to try to wrap my head around it.
Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Failed miserably.
So were you watching the first season, or what season was it?
Actually, it was I think I watched a compilation from like every season, and then I watched some summaries of this most recent one just to be like.
I feel like that's probably one of the worst ways you can do it. For me, initially when I was first introduced into JoJo's, it was like I saw a YouTube video of a fight, and I was like, oh, that fight looks kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then I decided, I'll start from the beginning, because I won't understand what's going on if I don't. And that's the thing, is it is a very bizarre adventure. If you don't start at the beginning, you're not going to know what the frick is going on. So, each season builds into the next one, and it's got recurring characters and themes, so it's something you got to take one piece at a time like anything else.
Would you believe that I referred to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as a weird show once, and Gunnm over there tried to argue that it wasn't?
It's literally called Bizarre Adventure. It's designed to be weird. Like, it just is.
Especially after this recent season, I can't say that.
I'm not. That season is not one that I'm a fan of, even in the manga.
Oh, the part 6?
No, I hate it. I hate part 6. There's so many inconsistencies and issues I have with it, including Giorno not being there.
It was just alright. I liked it. That's what I liked the most about it. It was just alright.
Jotaro
is
his name?
The lead protagonist of 3, and he technically takes over 4, practically.
Is he the guy with the hat?
Yeah, he's got the hat, the hat that blends into his hair.
That's who I visualized when you were describing his physique. So him v Kratos, what happens?
Him v Kratos. Okay, so if we've got Kratos before he was a god, I think that Jotaro washes. He washes him easily.
Well, obviously, we talking Kratos as he is.
He is,
Kratos in his prime, even.
As he is in his prime? Nah, dude. He doesn't stand a chance.
Okay, let's redefine the parameters, because fitness does not mean necessarily who would win in a fist fight. As I mentioned earlier, we got endurance, we got stamina. So based on the observed feats of these two gentlemen, maybe this requalifies the guy you picked, Gunnm. Who would win in a foot race?
Oh, yeah, no question. It's going to be Jotaro.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he can stop time. So if you guys start to race, he stops time,
see,
he goes forward, he wins.
Physical prowess, not magical prowess.
Yeah.
A foot race. Well, Kratos has godlike speed. He's got godlike
His
agility.
speed ain't that godlike. I mean, he probably faster than anybody on Earth, but
that's a fast boy.
Yeah, he fast, but he ain't like.
Yeah.
Accelerate
Kenshiro is
for Ben
definitely like the most mortal out of the 3.
So what you
most
saying
normal.
Isn't he gonna lose it every game? Like, he just get washed.
You're saying you made a bad choice.
Still my boy though.
Honestly, I wish I had thought to include Sora. I feel like Sora actually could compete with Kratos a little bit because it's that Disney fever dream energy.
Yeah, get out of here. How about truck pulling?
Truck pulling.
Yeah. If we chained him up to some semis.
Bro, I feel like it's just like so what else could Kratos beat you as? Like, truck pulling, foot race,
Being
dog walking,
being a dad,
being a father.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh yeah, he definitely wins that too.
Definitely wins that.
Because Jotaro is not the worst father, but
Ain't
he's
that
not
his
the best
daughter?
either.
Definitely
That's his daughter in
talking
6.
about
Yeah, he is a daddy.
Yeah.
I can relate to having a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, his daughter does not like him.
I caught that.
Yeah,
I caught
she's
that.
not a fan.
Okay. I mean, who could hold their breath the longest, you think?
I don't know. Like, if there was an underwater level in God of War, maybe I would have a better idea of who could hold their breath longer.
I definitely feel like there was an episode in Fist of the North Star where he was just underwater for hours just fighting it. Like, I definitely recall that. So, maybe Kenshiro wins that.
He can hold his breath the longest. I mean, you gotta win something, right?
Hey, he back on the board.
Back on the board.
Well, Jotaro is even more swole than Kratos. So he just looked like he'd get tired at some point to me. You know what I mean?
so
I don't know. I feel like his attitude, like one of the things that's the strongest about Jotaro is his in part 3 specifically is his attitude. I feel like he would just get mad at the water and refuse to breathe on principle.
The mental fitness, eh?
Yeah, his mental fitness is there.
Yeah. Well, if Kratos is fueled by either parental rage or vengeance, he got that mental fitness.
There's
right
nothing
back.
Kratos can't do when he's mad.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's inconsistent. It's about how mad he is at any given moment.
I think that really is it's that Spartan rage.
He's like, I'm content. I can't climb this 10-foot rock wall. But I'm pissed off. Bro, I'm about to lift the world.
Probably just jump it.
All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like you agree with me more than you disagree.
I'm probably gonna cede it to you, man. I think your pick was probably the most dominant. I can't think of anybody who could stand up to that level of competition.
Yeah.
Not offhandedly.
Hey, we should make this into a tournament or something. But
Yeah,
hey,
brackets.
Kratos wins. Kratos victorious. All right, let's go on a little side quest. So, for this segment, we have to sell each other on things that we don't necessarily hate, but what's something that you love that the rest of us has little to no interest in? You want to start? You love
Bueller?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had brought this up earlier, but Marvel Midnight Sun. Now I know that Dray was deeply disappointed with the way that this game turned out specifically. He's not a big fan of the card combat. You know, this wasn't quite what he was looking for. He wanted XCOM 3. We didn't get XCOM 3. We got this instead.
Wrong. I wanted XCOM 2 with Wolverine and Iron Man. That's what I wanted. I'm like,
That's the only way I would have given it up.
bro, I'm like copy paste.
Bro, but instead of like just picking your move every time, you have a rotating selection of different moves. And the strategy is not only in positioning, because positioning is important in this game. It's very important. Mm-hmm. It's in your team composition. I think that what's interesting about this game is the way that every single hero feels completely unique in the way that their cards play, in the way they chain together, in the way their composition is with other heroes. So let's say, like, there's this girl, her name's Magic. She has the ability to open up portals, so most of her attacks open up areas where you can knock enemies into, and then they'll go through the portal, they'll hit somebody else. You
So
can
she's the
position
psi
them.
operative.
Is that what? Can they do that too? 'Cause that'd be pretty funny if they just ripped off their own characters. Like, magic will work for that. She can do the same thing. And there's characters that are better at tanking damage, obviously, and you'll be like, oh, well, you mean like the heavy? There's no cover because their whole philosophy. I remember they were talking about this in an interview. Is that heroes don't miss. Like, heroes are accurate, they hit every shot. So what it comes down to is effectively managing your resources, because you get 3 plays per turn. There are some cards that'll let you get 4 plays next turn. And it's just resource management, lining up combos. Like, you get more points for, like, let's say you start a level, you kill everybody in the first round because your hand's just that good, or you just are that strategic. You get bonus points, there's all kinds of unlockables. The dynamics on the team are pretty funny. Like, you get to hear Doctor Strange and Tony Stark just arguing like cats and dogs all day long. The story now.
Get into that, yeah.
The story, right? I'm not going to go into too many spoilers, but the whole goal of the game is you're hunting down this demon. She's a character in like biblical fiction, but Lilith, the mother of demons. You're playing, and this is not I wouldn't say this is really a spoiler. You're playing Hunter, who is their offspring. You find that out in the first 2 minutes of the game. And your whole goal is just to stop her. And in doing so, you've got 2 superhero groups, and it's like the story is about them coming together in order to stop this threat, despite the fact that they're very different groups of people. So on one team, you've got the Midnight Suns. So you've got Blade, you've got Nico, you've got Magic, and she's an X-Man. She's the Portal Girl. You've got there's a couple other ones. You got Spider-Man.
Sounds very comic booky so far.
I mean, yeah, it's a comic book video game. There's a lot of hokiness. Unfortunately, there is no romance in this game.
Okay.
Despite it having social mechanics that are set up so that there could have been. Right. It's like it's a missed opportunity, but there is for other characters, just not you, the player character. And you do get to customize your character, which I didn't know when I picked up the game. I thought you had to play as one person.
More than anything excited me about this game before I found out about the card stuff or like the weird social link stuff.
Yeah, the weird social link. So I like it. I think that it kind of fleshes out character interactions. Like, you learn a lot about the characters in this universe and why they feel certain ways about stuff.
Oh, I meant the customization.
Oh, the customization. Yeah, the customization is great.
Yeah, that's what would get me into it.
Essentially, your character has like 3 different paths they can go down. They have balance, they have dark, they have light. You can build out your deck any way you want. You can make your character like an assassin. You can make them a tank. You can gear them like however you want to fill in whatever slot your team might be missing. So like, I use my character primarily as a bruiser, and I pair him up with Captain Marvel and Blade. Because Blade's like a bruiser/assassin. Like, Blade can kill people really quick. Mm-hmm. And he does a lot of like periodic bleed damage. So when I want to hit it hard, I want to take everybody out quick, I just send them in, they clean house. It's a lot of fun. And it's like, there's something innately satisfying about when your hand comes together and the positioning comes together and you wipe everybody out.
What you think, Gunnm? Where are you at? He sold you?
I wouldn't say I've been sold, but it does make me a little bit slightly more interested, but I wouldn't say sold. Far from it. I don't know. Just like when it comes to like a strategy game like that, I think I'm just more into the tactical kind of experience you get from like a Fire Emblem or something, or even like XCOM.
I would argue that it's incredibly similar. Like, the cards are not a big deal. They're not. I know it feels like it, and really intuitively I thought that too. I'm like, I don't want to play a card game.
Yeah.
But the way that it works out, you have moves outside of using cards. You got
one more chance.
You have like, as you progress through the game, you get upgrades. It's just like XCOM. You build out your forge, and you get different components for these
15
different
seconds.
areas. And you can learn abilities that are outside of just using cards. Your movement is free. You can move wherever you want. You can reposition people. You can
5
push
seconds.
people into hazards. I mean, the tactics are there.
All right.
It's really the cards, really.
The car, just the cards.
Gosh, what
It
is
is
so
really
wrong
the
with card?
cards.
People play card games and be like, "Oh, cards in my video. Get that out of here."
Okay, me. I will say, you've sold me. However, I'm willing to try it.
Okay.
See that you've done that much, so I'll give it a shot.
I'll take it. That's a W in my book.
Alrighty, Gunnm, you sell us on One Piece.
Oh God.
So you guys on
Let him
One
make
Piece.
his case.
Okay.
Okay. So, trying to think about it. How should I sell you guys on One Piece?
Now, should
So,
Yeah, indeed.
so based on where we are right now in One Piece, like One Piece is moving into its final arc. Quote unquote. That's what people are speculating. Like we're moving into its final arc, and kind of like what's happening in the story right now. It's kind of making it seem as if it's moving into its final phase. So, it's One Piece probably, if I were to make a prediction, probably has another, I'm gonna say 2-3 years, possibly 4. He might try and stretch it.
Oh, he might
You never know with Oda. Like you might think an arc will only last a year, and then it goes like for 3.
Hey, money is a strong motivator.
It makes a lot of money in Japan. Like, I can't blame them. But like the stories that he makes, like through it with the, I guess I should say like the arcs that he's recently done in the series, like they've been very like really impactful. So a lot of things from the overarching story have been broken down. So it's just One Piece is moving into a really interesting phase, and I have been seeing a lot of people like getting more so interested. So the thing about One Piece that makes it really hard to sell people is that
It's longer than the Bible.
other than that, like it's like you have to be really into the characters to really get into One Piece.
Can I ask you a question?
So if you guys were to watch up to Nami's arc, people that have watched One Piece, they probably know what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
do too.
Because I used to watch
Like
it.
I did too.
rewatch it up until Nami's arc
I went all the way to Alabasta.
and see if it kind of hits you.
Ain't that the snow place?
Alabasta? I'm pretty sure.
No,
it's
no.
the desert place.
Alabasta's
wow, I
desert.
was off.
Yeah, Alabasta's in the desert.
Okay,
yeah.
so look, earlier we were talking about Dragon Ball, and you two went on a tangent. This is why I put a pin in that. So, Dragon Ball, you know, I don't take myself too seriously, but the filler of Dragon Ball Super is about the extent to which I can accept goofiness in a narrative. Is
Okay.
One Piece goofier than Dragon Ball Super?
Goofier? I'd say about the same amount of goofy.
Is that
So One Piece.
Press X to doubt.
So One Piece. Okay. So all right. So
thinking it.
One Piece, the anime, hard like. At least up to a certain point, I think it's a good way to watch, like to get into the series.
Hey,
Gunnm, how long is the anime? How many episodes are we at now?
Hey, stop laughing. Be respectful.
All right,
Gotta
look.
convince me, man.
All right. So there's 1,000 episodes.
1,000 episodes.
This is like the Simpsons of anime, dude.
There is 1,000 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but to be fair, I think watching the anime up until probably like episode 6 or 500 is, you know, a good way to get into the series.
500? I have to watch 600 episodes of this to get into it.
Is it like Naruto, where there's like a huge chunk you could just toss aside and skip?
Yeah, like filler. Like, how much filler would you say there is?
It's not so much there's a lot of filler, it just goes like really slow because they try to pace it with the manga. So they do like so they adapt about half a chapter's worth of content from the manga into an episode to try and keep it like pace. So once they get to like high impact moments, like Luffy fights like, I don't know, Crocodile or something, like they can make that episode particularly like really impactful.
Yeah, the fearsome crocodile.
Now, Dre, I feel like we should give him a little more time because this
Well,
is
just as an
a
example.
huge thing to convince somebody of. It's like I'm asking you to join my religion, essentially, in commitment.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes
Uninterrupted.
uninterrupted,
Just sell me on this.
starting right now.
Okay, so One Piece anime, like it paces itself like normally. like a normal show for the first 2 to I'm gonna say 300 episodes. After that, that's when it starts like really slowing down, and you start getting into a lot of those episodes where it adapts like half a chapter or so an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, fair enough. That is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I just read the manga now. So, I say until about, 300-400 or so, you can definitely watch it. But if it starts getting too slow to where you can't tolerate it, just read the manga. The manga is amazing. The manga is great. So, the anime, like, even I have my thoughts about the anime. Like, I think it goes too slow, even though it's doing better with the new director that's there.
Man, that did not help you.
No.
Be careful.
Salesman.
It's, it is a hard sell, but if you watch those first 3 to 4 arcs of One Piece, especially like right before you get to the Grand Line, like the Romance Dawn era, like when Luffy is just starting out, like getting his crew together, that should be enough to get you into it in the start. And if not, then One Piece just may not be for you. But I will tell you that it does get better later. So that's about it, though.
You gonna yield your time? Okay, I got some takeaways.
All right.
Okay.
So
It's always hard to get into anything that requires as much commitment as religion to be a part of the fandom. When I have to, when you tell me I have to watch the first 300 episodes of this crap to get into it enough to feel like I need to do the rest, that is so much to ask. I drop things if I'm not into it by episode 3. So to ask 300 episodes out of me before it really gets good, it's wild.
All that to say, you're not sold.
No.
I say, but like I said, I think the Romance Dawn era for One Piece is the first, 20 episodes?
I think that what you said about reading the manga is probably the most persuasive argument you could have made.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would have hit if I was trying to sell it to somebody.
Too.
Yeah, you can watch the anime until you can't tolerate it anymore.
I feel like the best thing to do is just read the manga, and if you really like a fight in the manga, you just go YouTube it and watch it, because it's already been done. You can just enjoy it.
I love how much you love One Piece. but I'm not solely.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Right now,
a lot of my friends love One Piece.
Yeah.
It's like their own child. They
Yeah.
they love it to death, and I just can't. I cannot.
Like I would damn near say it's peak fiction, but
I mean, it's the #1 manga in the world. Period.
Yes,
so it's
we.
definitely good.
it is a commitment. It's a hard sell.
It's a second job being a One Piece fan for nobody. In fact, you pay them.
I have to sell you on Persona 3.
They're so old.
Okay, let's build a story here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you guys' experience with Persona?
I played 4 Golden and 5.
Okay.
I have played. Can I include SMT?
Include anything with Persona in the name.
SMT does not.
Okay, so I have played little bit of Golden, and I do mean little bit of Golden, as well as Persona 5.
Mm-hmm. Which one would you say your favorite is?
Persona 5 Royal.
How about you?
Golden, I think the characters are better.
The characters. So, for Persona, you'd say the characters are what make the experience?
100%, yes.
How about you, Gunnm?
I would say absolutely.
Okay, so if I told you that Persona 3, while it may be the darkest entry in what we consider the modern Persona titles with the social link implementation, if I told you it had, despite minimal social links, some of the deepest, most touching, gripping character dynamics out of the entire series, how would you take that?
Oh wow, that's quite the statement,
it is
considering
quite the
the rest of the series that I've played through.
Yeah.
Now, different strokes, man. Persona 4, I love because, you know, it's all happy, cheery sunshine despite the backdrop of murder.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5, the rebellious spirit of the kids, despite the fact that every 5 seconds someone's like, adults. You know? Persona 3, I will say the characters didn't feel as much as... They didn't have that familial connection that you're probably accustomed to. But I felt like that helped it in the long run because the relationships felt earned. You know, 4 and 5 just kind of felt to me like, while there is some... Within those interpersonal dynamics, there's a lot of collision, you know, like Morgana and Ryuji don't like each other, for example.
I like Morgana.
In Persona 4, everybody likes each other. In Persona 3, you almost feel like you're trying to earn the confidence of the people around you.
Okay.
So it's a lot heavier narratively. In fact, it borders on depressing at some points. Again, I don't know how y'all feel about dark storytelling, but even in the moment-to-moment gameplay, the motif of death and letting go of your past self is represented by the evokers. Greg, you've seen those guns that they use to, you know, they turn them on themselves to summon their personas. To me, out of putting on some glasses and like ripping a Yu-Gi-Oh card, ripping a mask off your face, and literally blasting yourself in the head. That's like the dopest way to summon a persona.
I feel like that's the most emo way to summon a persona.
Symbolism alone.
Yeah, I mean, it is called Shimigami Tensei Persona 3.
And that's where...
So it has that
The dark.
Megaton
Yeah.
Exactly.
isms in it. Yeah.
That's where I think I have you, Gunnm. You mentioned SMT. You played Persona before SMT, but I know how much that game means to you. Why would you not like the Persona that is the most like SMT? The modern Persona 1 and 2, you can make the argument.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. It's also a fair bit harder than 4 and 5, if that's your jam. I mean, I know you're a masochist. Why else would you love it?
I do like me my hard
You have to
SMT
be.
games.
When I heard you were an SMT fan, I'm like, bro, this dude just hates his life. He wakes up in the morning and chooses violence against himself.
The quality of life features aren't quite there. This is,
The third
I mean,
entry.
an obvious result of playing the 5th entry in a series and going back and playing the 3rd. But, just like without Kenshiro, there'd be no Jotaro.
Mm-hmm.
Without Persona 3, there'd be no Persona 5. This was the entry point for the casual fan to get into SMT, as it were. So, I mean, if you can put on a nostalgic lens, go try something old. We all like retro games here.
Yeah, that's true.
Put behind the fact that you can't really control what your allies are doing. You're in for a good time. I mean, it's Persona. Great characters. Nice filler content before Persona 6, if anything.
Mm-hmm, that's true. It'd be nice to have some context for Ultimax, the fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know who Akihiko was, but he was a fantastic character in that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know how you can find out who he was?
By playing Persona 3.
By playing Persona 3.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, what you think?
Oh, man. I'd say that you've piqued my interest. It's going to be on Game Pass anyway, so it's not like it'll cost me anything.
I was going to say the same thing since it's going to be on Game Pass.
But if it wasn't, I will say that I would probably
so.
not play it.
Still kind of in the middle. But yeah, just only because of my backlog. But you convinced me about it. You did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Game Pass.
Thanks, Game Pass.
See, there's a reason I'm an Xbox fan. Okay, so the bonus round. Before we go, I'm going to test your nerd knowledge. Y'all game for that?
Oh, always.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got 3 descriptions used in commerce for a movie, an anime pilot, or a video game. I made this fair so it's all stuff at least you'd have a cursory knowledge of. So I'm going to read this description. You have to guess which one it's from out of an anime, movie, or game.
Okay.
Ready? When homie is assigned to such and such, he and his new teammates must prove themselves as they fight to overcome the injustice of a city gripped by corruption. Is that from A, Digimon Tamers, B, Legend of Heroes Trail from Zero, or C, The Matrix Resurrections?
Hold on, read that description.
Mm-hmm. So, Digimon, Trails, or Matrix. When homie, obviously that's not his name,
Yeah, quite clearly.
is assigned to such and such, he and his new teammates must prove themselves as they fight to overcome the injustice of a city gripped by corruption.
See,
That is Trails from Zero.
Is it? What do you think?
Absolutely.
I'm torn. Well, it can't be Tamers. Like, I feel like there's definitely a season of Digimon or a series of Digimon where, like, it takes place in a city and they're, like, trying to keep things locked down. But I don't know. I don't even know about Trails from Zero. I've never even heard of it. So I'm gonna go with Tamers. Why not?
Tamers?
Why not? I don't mind being wrong.
Well, I'm glad you don't mind. because Gunnm, you are correct.
There you go.
I know I know the series.
Yeah.
It's new.
I wanted to make it a little vague.
I
got another one.
I had to think about it a little bit, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you 0 for 2.
That's fine.
Beet. I got one more for you. Okay, blah blah follows the adventures of a 13-year-old such and such and their teammate, a blah blah spirit who traverse the world fighting evil spirits and misguided hoo-has on their journey to be the next blank.
Oh, Shaman King.
I didn't give you any choices.
That's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Shaman King isn't even on there.
Are you kidding me? Oh, God.
Is it Beyond Two Souls, Spirited Away, or Shaman King?
You just said you didn't have Shaman King on the list.
Which one is it?
You know, can I get the description again?
He was so confident.
I was wrong. And then you added it, I'm sure, because you're like, well, now you could just be wrong.
Blah
twice.
blah follows the adventures of a 13-year-old such and such and their teammate, a blah blah spirit who traverse the world fighting evil spirits and misguided hoo-has on their journey to be the next blank.
Okay.
Is it A, Beyond Two Souls, B, Spirited Away, or C, Shaman King?
Shaman King is
Shaman
what I'm
King.
going to go with.
That just sounds like Shaman
sounds
King.
like
I never
Shaman
watched
King.
it like that.
I have
but
watched
sounds
it.
like
You're both gonna go for Shaman. It is Shaman King.
I knew it!
I just didn't want you to get ahead of
That's
yourself. I was trying to gaslight you.
You did. You really did. I was playing 5D chess with my mind, bro. Playing with my emotions.
Yeah, I like that. Well, that's a wrap. Good one, guys. Where can they find you, Gunnm?
Well, you can find me on Tumblr on gunnm.tumblr.com, as well as Twitter at Gunnm, and also the Twitch at Gunnm21.
How about you?
See, I like all your socials because they're all the same. They all blend together. So first of all, I would like to thank Dray and Gunnm for having me on their podcast. It's been a great time.
Of course.
Coming into the studio. But you can find me on Twitch at TheBeneficentBeet or on YouTube at Beatdown. I do have a Twitter, but you're not going to get that. But thanks for tuning in, guys.
I'm Dray the Spectre on pretty much everything. You can find me on YouTube for fitness videos. I'm thinking about doing some fitness challenges, fitness advice, things like that. But yeah, that was a Dap It Up podcast. Don't forget, before you go to bed, read your One Piece.
Oh.